What's going on, guys? No guys here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to go over the Lofted Pass. There's two variations. I want to go through the Lofted through ball and the Lofted Pass, when they should be, when should they be used, and why they're so effective in the game. People see this a lot, but I think they misuse them, and I think they try to overuse them and spam them in areas where they're not that effective. So first of all, there is two variations. There's a Lofted through ball and then there's a Lofted Pass. The Lofted through ball is basically a double triangle pass if you're on PlayStation, or if you're on Xbox, it's a double Y pass. And basically all it is that if a player is running into space, the through ball will have like a lofted, so it'll be on the ground, but it'll have like a lofted bouncing trajectory, and that's where you get the lofted through ball. The lofted pass is basically a double X, or if you're on Xbox, a double A pass, which is basically the same kind of approach, but the pass, let's say for example, goes to this player, it will go straight to his feet. The most important thing is when you're doing a lofted pass, it depends how much power you put on the initial action. So what I found is if you, for example, hold the X button for a long time and then you press the X button straight after, you'll have a more powerful lofted pass. Whereas if, for example, you press the X button in quick succession, then you kind of get like a short pass. So the power does take into effect like so. So you got an example over here. This is more of a through ball example. I'm going to slow this down to you. As you can see, I see a player running into the space and I want to make a pass towards him. All I want to do here is I want to get the pass in this area. Now there's a player blocking this vicinity, so I end up doing a double Y pass or a double triangle pass. And you see the lofted through ball, as you can see, works well. Now the reason why it works compared to most other passes, if you try to do, for example, a chip through ball, sometimes your opponents will get the ball like an L1 triangle. If you do the pass on the ground, your opponent can get the ball away. Let's say you don't have time to do a ball roll to get the ball into an angle. A lofted pass normally goes through the gaps or normally goes around the players. The benefit is that a player's actual player model, a lofted pass normally goes kind of around knee height. And at knee height, the player can't really get the ball. There's no animation for them to kind of lunge into the ball, or for them to kick the ball up, or for example, to kind of use their thigh or anything to get the ball. You can't. So that's why they're so effective. So for example, in this region over here, you can do a lofted pass, and you can see even though the player's foot is at a good distance to get it, because it was around knee height, it was very, very hard. And you can see the exact same thing over here. Once the ball reaches over here, you can see at this point, I get the ball away and I try to make a pass. You can see, I think that's Ferdinand. You can see that the ball is basically at a region where it's around his knee height, and even then you expect the game to pick up that ball, but you can see that the ball literally just very simply just goes past them. So that's why it's very, very effective to be used when you want to get a ball into a difficult situation and a normal pass can't get there, and you want to use a lofted pass to do so. Here's one of the weird situations that actually a lofted through ball works very well. As you can see, I get a counter attack and Neymar is making a run in behind. The most important thing is initially Neymar wasn't making a run in behind, so I had to press the L1 button, and that way Neymar then made that run going forward. So I had to make sure I pressed the L1 button to send Neymar going forward. When Neymar was making a pass, I was in a situation. I knew Ronaldo was right footed. I wanted to make the pass on the left. I couldn't do the ball roll because there was a player in the way, so I wasn't too sure what to do. So what I did instead, I did a lofted pass, or lofted through ball in a situation down the wing. Now the reason why I chose a lofted through ball is if I did a normal through ball pass, there is a big chance in this situation the player might intercept it. But with a lofted through ball, it just reduces the chance. As you can see, my player just lets it run, and it kind of worked well. So you can use it in these situations. As you can see, it was a very good counter-attack type goal. But here we got another example, another similar situation with a player making a run in behind. I do a 1-2, and then you can see I do a lofted through ball, the exact same thing. Now the reason why I did this one over here is I wasn't too sure at this point what pass was going to reach. I know if I did a through ball traditionally over there, Ake would have defended against that perfectly, especially the special Ake. But if I did a lofted through ball, it would have made a difference. And the reason why is, as you can see, the lofted through ball, I'm actually aiming it towards the bottom left. You see that? And I'm actually trying to get it through the gaps. So the idea is I want to get the lofted through ball into the gaps, in basically between. And you can see when I make that pass, if this player was standing still and that was a regular through ball, there is a big chance this player could have got the ball. But because there's a lofted through ball around the knee height, you kind of avoid that player. Now the question people ask is, why don't you do like an L1 triangle pass? Well, I could have done that. But the issue is with the L1 triangle pass, the higher the trajectory, generally speaking, the ball goes much slower. So the benefit of the lofted through ball is you keep the pace of the ball without reducing the velocity and speed, whereas a chip through ball would have lost, and as you can see, it worked very, very well in that situation. And even if it didn't work out, at that kind of situation, if he switched this play and he tried to manually man mark that run, if he tried to, he wouldn't have got the ball. He kind of went away with Ake. He didn't really defend the best in this situation, but you can see, for example, how he defended even the better situation. The ball would have gone still through to Neymar. Maybe Ake would have been there, but I still would have been in a situation to get the ball going through. Now, you may have seen me speak about the angle of failure. You know, you need to make an angle when you make a pass is the most important thing. But I think with a lofted through ball, you can actually get away with making these unorthodox passes from really, really distant angles. For example, you can see with our opponent, if I'm not mistaken, is right-footed. Now, if I was to make this pass normally, I'd probably do a ball roll and then make that through ball. But you can see here, I go on my opposite foot and actually do a lofted through ball. You can see on the control on the bottom of the screen, you can see obviously it was a double triangle pass. And you can see as soon as I make that pass, Mbappe's making that run going forward. And then you can see I do a lofted through ball. And the reason why I took the risk is even if it went through, but I knew because I aimed it around, but even if it went through, you can see that even if he selected that right player, because it's around knee height, there's no way for him to get it. In my opinion, there should be a thing where if you manually choose that defender and you run into the gap, your player should lunge into an animation to lock onto it. I do believe that should exist, but you can see right now how powerful it is, and that way the ball can get to that player very, very easily down the wing. Now, in regards to lofted passes, I generally make lofted passes very, very rarely. For example, this would be a situation where I made a regular pass. As you can see, my opponent, he nearly got the ball. You can see over here, he nearly got the ball. Now, the issue is in this situation, I would say in this situation here, a lofted pass would be completely fine, or a lofted through ball. But in most situations where I think a lofted pass is viable, you don't really need it. It's only if there's let's say you got a player here and a player there, and let's say there's a player in the way, then I'd make a lofted pass. But generally speaking, the lofted passes in those situations, I wouldn't take the risk. That's why I mainly use the lofted through balls. And as you can see, a 1-2 in these, like for example, like here with Neymar, it's an off angle. I face the player up, and as you can see here, I see my players running away, and I do a lofted through ball. You can see it's the exact same thing. You can see because it's around knee height. Over there, as you can see, even my opponent defend against that somewhat decently, the ball kind of goes through them. So I don't think it should exist. Unfortunately, at the post in the end, but you can see, for example, here how the lofted through ball is used. Do a double triangle pass, timed perfection. So Mbappe is, of course, onside. And there you can see I kind of get away with it. So you might have to just kind of force the ball forward just to kind of learn how the lofted pass, or kind of the trajectory, how it really goes through. The one situation where I do find lofted passes being very effective, I would say, is down these wing areas, these wing situations. Once you get inside the box, so you'll see, for example, like here, I'm not really too sure where to go. But I do see Neymar making a run going forward. So I do a turnaround backwards, a quick deception. Then I turn back in again. I do a lofted through ball again. There wasn't really a lofted through ball needed here, but sometimes you can use a lofted through ball to actually slow down the ball trajectory. That's kind of more in advanced here, but a regular through ball would have sufficed over here. Once I get the ball with Neymar, I see there's a player inside the box. I see Mbappe. Now I do a fake shot stop here, and then I do a lofted pass to get the ball forward to Mbappe. Now, generally speaking, if you make a cross here, it's not that bad. I do find that sometimes, even if you have semi-crossing, should I say, sometimes the ball kind of goes away, and then sometimes you headed the ball too far away. But you can do a lofted pass, and this is probably one of the few situations where I'll use the lofted pass as opposed to lofted through ball to get the ball to Mbappe's feet. And you can see, for example, like here, down the wing, I do a double X pass, and that way, if there's a defender over here, or there's a defender over here, or a defender over here, you basically kind of reduce the level or the chance for him getting the ball. So think of it in this situation: if there's someone in the way and you're not sure the ball will get there completely, then do a lofted through ball. And you can see if my opponent maybe defended a bit different over here and he actually kind of went towards the ball and he actually defended that well, there is a big chance he could have made a tackle and could have got the ball. Whereas a lofted through ball, it kind of bounces. And sometimes when the goalkeeper's there as well, it kind of bounces away and kind of glitches past them sometimes as well. So that's where the lofted pass, I would say, is more effective to be used inside the box in these types of situations. You can see that in this situation over here. Another similar situation where I'm running down the wing. I see someone inside the box. He's currently offside, so I do a fake shot stop. So I just wait for him, and then as you can see, he's completely onside. Now my opponent recovers somewhat, but he does panic. Now I wasn't too sure what my opponent was going to do. I was watching him, but if I made a regular pass, even at this point, let's say for example here, I did a fake shot stop, and immediately after I did a pass, a lofted pass, it would be a good chance of that ball going through in this situation. Had that been a regular pass, it wouldn't have gone through. So Lofted Pass would have been successful there, and he kind of played it away. Now, even if he defended a bit better there, and he didn't really kind of move too far away, the Lofted Pass also guarantees that safety. So general rule of thumb, if there is a player in the way between your two players and you want to make that pass, I would do a Lofted Pass. And it's the same thing with a through ball. If you're facing away, let's say your player making a run in behind. In fact, let me just pull up a clip here. So for example, like here, you'll see an example where I'm building up 0-0. I don't force the ball going forward. I go backwards. And as you can see, I'm not 100% sure where to go. So I guarantee the pass. Then I do a quick 1-2 there. I see Neymar making a run in behind. And as you can see there, I do a Lofted Pass. A through ball here wouldn't really have got through unless I did a through ball down the wing. But because I want the through ball to go into this vicinity, the best thing I can do will be kind of do a ball roll and then make a through ball. But you can see the lofted through ball kind of achieves a very much similar thing where the ball doesn't go too far away. But it's a mixture of, because the ball is bouncing, it's got a slower trajectory, therefore, or in terms of velocity speed anyway, and therefore I can get onto the ball quicker, therefore stopping it from going further away. But you can see, even if he did select the right player, let's say for example in this situation, he defended much better and he tried to intercept that ball probably would have gone through. And that's where situations where the lofted passes can be used very, very well. In those situations where your opponent is in a tight situation, you're not too sure what to do, and use a lofted through ball to kind of get the ball into that area. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed these tutorials, and this is just a quick example of how the lofted through balls can be used in your gameplay. What I was saying, try it out. You will find these situations where you can use a lofted through ball. This is one situation where I did use it very, very well. As you can see, like I didn't force a lofted through ball here. Do you see that? I could have if I wanted to, but a simple ball roll and then making the through ball was more than enough to get the ball to the player, and then created the angle. And as you can see here, a very unorthodox situation. I needed Mbappe to make a run going forward. So of course I pressed the L1 button to trigger Mbappe to make a run going forward. Once I was over here, I'm facing away, and I'll be honest, I had no right to make this pass, but you can see to make that pass in that region is very, very difficult. So a lofted through ball guarantees that kind of that safety net. And you can see, for example, like here, even though he had a player positioned in the correct way and he actually switched to the right player, he moved him here to block that angle out, and he moved this guy to cut out that pass. And even though he did that, I don't know why I had the audacity to make this pass, but you can see, for example, here it beats the first guy. You see, because it's kind of just below your torso, like kind of like around your torso or knee height. And as you can see, that player completely missed it, and that's why I got through with Mbappe. And that was very much a goal, and that was the winning goal in that situation. But you can see, for example, where it can be used very, very effectively, and almost too effectively in a situation, as you can see, where he tried to kind of cut me out so the ball can't go to my feet. He never expected it, and it was simply a goal. But anyway, thanks for watching, boys. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.